and I would like to welcome everybody to this very special ceremony, our closing ceremony of the online executive training, Young Women Leadership on Climate Adaptation. This moment really means a lot to me because in the past 6 months, we have fostered meaningful connections among 30 young women who are all leaders in their own capacity in the field of climate adaptation. Today, we take the moment to celebrate this, to celebrate you, 30 young leaders in your own capacities as climate adaptation activists. And I couldn't be more excited to also start this ceremony today with very special remarks from our co-chair, Ban Ki-moon, who really wanted to take this moment to really congratulate you being our first cohort of leaders on adaptation. So I would like to hand it over right away to our co-chair, Ban Ki-moon. Let's enjoy this moment.
Dear trainees of the online executive training, Young Women Leadership on Climate Adaptation, I'm sending my warmest regards from Seoul, Korea. Even though I cannot be live with you on this special day, I am delighted that modern technology still allows me to share a few words with you. After my tenure as a Secretary General of the United Nations, it became my ambition to foster the leadership of women and youth in our quest to find sustainable solutions to the world's most pressing challenges. Climate change requires our full attention as we must adapt to its accelerating impacts. The Paris Climate Change Agreement recognizes that mitigation and adaptation go hand in hand, and that they are two equally important building blocks towards a sustainable world that leaves no one behind. As the chair of the Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizens and the Global Center on Adaptation, I am truly proud that we have managed to get you on board in our efforts to adapt to a changing climate. In the past month, you have gained extensive knowledge and strengthened your skills to adapt our world. You have also made invaluable connections with your peers and others like-minded leaders from all around the world. I count on you to take action and apply your elevated leadership skills to foster a more resilient future for humanity and this planet. Congratulations on all your achievements. I wish you the very best, and I do hope that our path will cross in the near future. Thank you.
Applause. Applause to you, ladies. Our co-chairs are so proud of you and all your achievements. And yeah, it's been such a great journey, and we wish at some point that you will also meet them in person, of course. So let's move on to Patrick Verkooyen. He is the Chief Executive Officer of the Global Center on Adaptation, the organization that made this online executive training happen. So unfortunately, Patrick has another commitment today that came in very last minute, so sorry about that. But he delivered a video message because he didn't want to miss this opportunity to congratulate you ladies. So with that, I would like to hand it over to Patrick.
Dear adaptation champions, it is my pleasure to address you at the virtual closing ceremony of the online executive training of Young Women Leadership on Climate Adaptation. I have heard excellent reports of the course and the innovative micro-adaptation projects produced as a result. Of course, the training has had to be virtual because of COVID, so you've never met in person. And yet, despite coming from countries across Africa, from Egypt to Zimbabwe, from Ghana to Kenya, from Nigeria to DRC, you have formed a cohesive group demonstrating the power and potential of leadership among young women. And I sincerely hope that with the skills, knowledge, and networks that you have built, you will be now able to go and have an even greater impact in your communities. GCA, we are proud to work alongside our partners from the Ban Ki-moon Center, the Diplomatic Academy in Vienna, and obviously CARE, Climate Resilience Academia, to develop and implement this training program. Because it embodies a core value which we here in GCA deeply believe in, and it is that young people should have a central role in adapting the world to the impacts of climate change. And as important, that young women in particular can be the most influential agents of change. Why? Because young people and women are disproportionately affected by the climate crisis. And yet, climate change solutions are more sustainable when women are part and central of decision making. So the world needs your ambition, it needs your energy, and it needs your entrepreneurial spirit. This is why your work is so important. And this is also why GCA is proud to have youth leadership as a core pillar of our flagship program in Africa, the African Adaptation Acceleration Program, or AAAP, which we have designed and launched together with the African Development Bank. Through our Youth Adaptation Network, we are connecting and empowering young people to make the case for adaptation. And on action itself, through our Youth Adapt program, we launched the Youth Adaptation Solutions Channels, an unprecedented initiative to inspire and support youth-led adaptation solutions across the African continent. That's why that challenge is so important. And also, youth-led businesses, more than half owned by women, including millet fodders for smallholder farmers in Zambia, drought-resistant seedlings in Kenya, and even drones to reduce flooding in Cameroon. And now we're also working with our multilateral development bank partners, African Development Bank, World Bank, EIB, IFAD, to ensure adaptation jobs are mainstreamed into various country projects with a 30% target rate of adaptation jobs created. For example, with the AFDB, we are working to integrate adaptation into the investment in Digital and Creative Enterprise Program, a $618 million project to support the government of Nigeria in promoting entrepreneurship and innovation in digital technology, as well as the creative industries. This project alone is expected to create more than 77,000 direct adaptation jobs, of which 40% are going directly to women. Because this is the scale of change we need, and I'm thrilled that you are part of this change and leading this effort. I look forward to hearing news about the exciting work you will be doing going forward. Count on us as GCA as a partner of choice. Thank you again and congratulations.
Very impactful message from Patrick. And I'm happy that we're also joined by Jae-Yang So. She's the Director of Strategy at GCA, who will also give an intervention on behalf of GCA.
Thank you so much, Viola, and it's such a pleasure to be with all of you today. In GCA, as you've just heard from our CEO, we wanted to make an impact in women's voice and leadership in adaptation. So when we were created, we decided specifically, rather than looking for equal or parity, we wanted to give an additional boost to women. Part of that is because I myself have benefited from so many of these types of training and leadership programs. So I only wanted to add 3 points to what our CEO has said.
Seems like
who have been in this program to also put yourself on that leadership track. This is why the program that we designed with the Ban Ki-moon Center was really for high-level leadership. And we want to see more women leaders in climate adaptation. That's one. The second is in networks. When I have been part of women's leadership programs throughout my career, in addition to myself being trained, what was really valuable is the network. You will have your same cohort of women leaders with you. They will all move on to fantastic new opportunities. So keep your networks strong and keep your networks close. And I can guarantee you that you will see other members of your network again in your career in coming years. And then the third message is I want to congratulate all of you for being selected for this program and for graduating from this program.
Seems like Jae-young got kicked out of the meeting. That was just the wrong moment. I think she was just about to say something very nice, but let's hope that she can get reconnected soon. And in the meantime, I would say let's not lose time and head on to our next speaker, Monica, my boss, Monica, CEO at the Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizens, who's always there in our office to lend support and to lead this organization. And I want to hand over the word to you to also share your remarks with our young leaders.
Thank you, Viola. And ladies, to be honest, for me, it's a very special day because all of you have deeply impressed me. I have read about your programs. I have seen what projects you're implementing. And I have to say deep thanks because you have taught me already now a lot and will teach me probably a lot more in the future. But thanks wouldn't be complete if I only thank you, if I don't mention our amazing partners that have made this program possible for you and also for all of us. So big thank you goes to CARE, Climate and Resilience Academy, of course to the Diplomatic Academy Vienna and GCA, and in particular also our donor NORAD. Indeed, as Patrick said before, this was all part and parcel of the wider efforts of GCA in the matters of the African Adaptation Acceleration Program, the AAAP, and took all of these network partners to come together to provide an opportunity to you 30 stellar change makers who have taken up the chance to do your utmost to benefit from it. Fact is, you have a wide age range, but the median age that you all have is 28. So you have a lifetime ahead of you to be the change that you want to see in the world. And I trust that with all your projects that you have undertaken, reducing the waste, like really conserving farming produce, some of your projects went to that. Climate smart agriculture. I remember mangrove forests as a major topic. I remember that replanting plants in desert conditions, but also reforestation with children are all part and parcel of your ideas of how to push your communities to do more on adaptation, communication platforms, digitalization ideas that are direly needed. And I want to thank you because nutrition security, the food systems, the adaptation measures that you have now fostered over the past couple of months in your ideation, but will put into practice in the future, they are essential. If each and every one of you just reaches 100 people, we have 30 of you reaching 100, so we are at 3,000. And if they again become adaptation sensitive and become empowered, we eventually hopefully have a big, wide, peaceful army of people who are fighting for adaptation. Mind you, ladies, it's a tough field. Only 1.6% of climate finance currently goes to agricultural adaptation, to smallholder farmers. And in all your projects, you have engaged with smallholder farmers. Many of them are women, many of them are carrying the brunt of the burden of the climate crisis. You have taken a first step. We are proud to have taken it with you. And we want to thank you for the exceptional work that you have done already, but that hopefully spans across your lifetime. In DRC, in Ghana, in Egypt, in Kenya, in Nigeria, and in Zimbabwe. Today I'm wearing a scarf that I got on one of my mission trips to Ghana, and it's very special to me. I absolutely love it, and I do hope that I visit many of your countries and that I will also be able to welcome you personally, eventually in Vienna or elsewhere, wherever we can congregate the alumni of this program. Thanks to all of you, and without further ado, I give back to Viola so that you can hand on to the further speaker of the opening ceremony.
Thank you so much, Monica. Wonderful words. With that, I would like to come to our very strong partners of this online executive training. First and foremost, of course, we have the Diplomatic Academy. The Diplomatic Academy has been a strong partner of the Ban Ki-moon Center for a long time now, since 2019. We have been so successful at doing leadership trainings, and it's been such a delight to work with the Diplomatic Academy every single time. And of course, the big backbone behind the leadership trainings of the Diplomatic Academy is Susanne Kepler-Schlesinger, who's the Deputy Director of the Diplomatische Akademie Wien. And I would like to hand over to you, Susanne Kepler-Schlesinger, for some congratulatory remarks to our young leaders.
Thank you very much, Viola, for your kind introduction, and also to Monika Fröhler for her leadership in this important project. Well, dear friends, we have come to an end now. We have arrived at the closing ceremony of the online executive training for young women leaders. It is a good point in time to thank all our partners, Monika Fröhler and her dedicated team of the Ban Ki-moon Center, the CARE Climate and Resilience Academy, the Global Center on Adaptation, and my team also of the Diplomatic Academy. We have worked together hand in hand, shoulder in shoulder, and I think we can be very proud of the results of this program. Let me add a few personal words. I hope you can hear me. I could spend a few days and weeks also in Nigeria just a few weeks ago, and I was deeply impressed by how women organized organic farming, organized creative production in the area of arts and handicraft, against all odds, against climate change, against the aggression of armed groups. And I must say, I'm deeply, deeply impressed by the resilience of these women to create a business, to nourish their family and to educate their children. Allow me also to put your program into the current international context. Well, unfortunately, the world has changed since the beginning of your program. We are all shocked and saddened by a devastating war waged by the Russian Federation against a neighboring country, causing the worst humanitarian catastrophe after World War II. And this war has started to create a whole range of international challenges which are spreading rapidly in concentric circles. Millions of refugees, almost only women and children, displaced persons, lost their homes and livelihoods. Tech and agricultural production, as well as important industrial supply chains, have broken down and might also cause shortages in food production, not only in Europe, but also in other continents such as Africa. It is in this context, unfortunately, that the international spotlight has been turned away a little bit from the climate crisis, which still is the most important challenge the world is facing right now. And it is particularly in this context that your leadership program on climate adaptation is so special and so important. Let me also stress that many public and international discussions around the International Women's Day 2022, just a few days ago, focused on feminist policies at both the national and the international level. And the outcome of these discussions was quite clear. We have to end conflicts, we have to build resilient societies in the aftermath of war and conflict. We also have to build ecologically conscious and sustainable economies as entrepreneurs. And short and sweet, we need many more women in political leadership positions. Dear friends, I applaud you for having not only participated in this program, but you also have contributed a lot to this very challenging training and also to this network. From all my heart, I wish you all the best for your professional future and also for your role as agents of change. Back to you, Viola.
Thank you so much, Susanne Kepler-Schlesinger, for these very timely remarks, and a very good point indeed. Lots of challenges and crises are currently affecting us all, but of course the focus has to be clear that the climate crisis is one of our most challenging ones, and I'm certain that our young leaders are ready to take it on. So with that, ladies, we're still not done with the congratulatory remarks here. We have so many partners who want to congratulate you. And of course, one of the big ones is CARE, the CARE Climate Resilience Academy. And we have represented here Inge Vianen, who is the the global leader of the CARE Climate Change and Resilience Platform. And I would like to turn to Inge for some additional congratulatory remarks. So over to you, Inge.
Thank you very much, Viola. Thank you. Dear young women leaders, I would like to congratulate you on behalf of CARE. As you know, the IPCC just released its second report on impacts, adaptation and vulnerability. And the report highlights once again that climate change has already disrupted human and natural systems, and stipulates that approximately 3.3 to 3.6 billion people already live in contexts that are highly vulnerable to climate change. Importantly, the report also highlights that social justice and climate justice have to be at the center of our response to the crisis. That feasible and effective adaptation efforts do make a difference, and that we need more money for adaptation. During the leadership course on adaptation, you have demonstrated that you can help adapt our world and help ensure adaptation actions are ramping up quickly to support vulnerable women and communities in Africa. Today, I would like to tell you that as the course progressed over the past months, our team never stopped being impressed by every one of you, each day, each week. We were impressed with your commitments to the course, managing lots of competing priorities in your lives. We were impressed with your motivation and your great ideas to adapt our world, impressed with the linkages that you have been able to create between all of you, but also with other adaptation experts and inspiring leaders, impressed with the opportunities you have been able to unlock, impressed with your capacity to work under pressure and deliver all your assignments. We know that's not easy. We are also impressed with all the progress you made from day one up to now, and with your team spirits, impressed with your inspiring leadership and provocative thoughts, and impressed with your empathy. And I could go on with much more. You were already great adaptation leaders before the course, but we really hope that this course has supported you in your journey to adapt our world, and that it will support you to make your adaptation ideas and projects a reality. We look forward to stay in touch with all of you, and we are hopeful that we can find opportunities to work together in the near future to ensure locally led adaptation is happening everywhere, and that women are at the center of it. We would like to thank our partners, the Ban Ki-moon Center, the GCA, and the Diplomatic Academy of Vienna for the great collaboration. And I want to thank you once more for all the efforts that you've put into ending this course, finishing it. And congratulations again to all of you. Over to you, Viola.
Thank you so much, Inge. Wonderful words. And I can only stress how thankful we are to CARE for your tremendous support in making this online executive training what it is today. Handing over all your knowledge, all the amazing knowledge that CARE has been able to accumulate to our young leaders. And this training would not be what it is without you. So thank you so much from our side as well. Ladies, so with that, and dear audience, ladies and gentlemen, we want to shed light on our trainees as well, because today we're here to celebrate them. And we have an amazing young leader, Stephanie Akruma. And I have to say this, Stephanie, right now, you're actually at the top list of our achievers of this training. So congrats on that. So a true valedictorian speaker today. And Stephanie will give some remarks on the training, her experience. And yeah, I would like to hand over to you, Stephanie, to give your remarks as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Viola. And I'm grateful to be here. And I'm grateful to be speaking on behalf of all my colleagues here. I can't believe that it's almost the end. It's actually the end of our program. It seems like just recently that a friend shared the application of the training program with me. And to be honest, I was not sure what to expect from the training program. When I received the congratulatory email, I had knowledge as to what I wanted to do in climate change and climate change adaptation. But honestly, where I am today, my knowledge has been impacted, and the high-level leadership that you wanted to impact in us has been impacted in me, at least. Honored guests, fellow trainees, and the team that put all of this together, thank you for being here, and good day, good afternoon, good evening to you wherever you are. I am honored and elated to give this speech on behalf of my brilliant and inspiring fellow trainees of the Young Women Leadership Training Program on Climate Change Adaptation for the 2021-2022 year. I've been very fortunate to have met my fellow young women leaders from Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Zimbabwe, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Egypt. It has been an exciting journey for us so far. It has not necessarily been very easy because this has been competing with other equally important things in our life, especially practical things in our jobs and our works. But this has been impactful enough for us to always be here, be punctual, be on time, and try to do our best with our program. We have made it, ladies. We have made it, fellow women leaders. We have made it to the very end of our course with glamour, with grace, and with a lot of wit. I remember the days when some trainees were on the move and we'll see that their cameras were on and they didn't know about it. They were actively listening, but their cameras would be showing that they were working with their phones on the field in some farm somewhere and trying to listen on the go. Thank you all, ladies, for having put in your best in the training program and giving it your best that we've learned from each other, and we are here as it stands. Ladies, we have made it till the end. I recount the gender-sensitive adaptation solutions that we learned, that we realized that women have been left out of very important roles that they can play. Women farm in lands that they do not own, women contribute, and all the problems with gender-based violence, women gap pays at work were interconnected with problems with gender sensitivity in climate adaptation, and that if we needed to resolve these issues, we needed to see them as a comprehensive issue and provide a comprehensive solution. I remember when we were studying effective communication for adaptation, how we can communicate effectively so that we can get our message across to our respective stakeholders and involve the people that we wanted to include. I remember our talks on adaptation policies, on local and global policies that we could implement. I remember when we said to each other that some of the policies do not trickle down to the local levels, and so policy is very disconnected from local level practitioners. I remember negotiating like a pro and understanding that we needed to communicate better, and what we needed was a kind of negotiation that does not leave out the party, but one that brings a solution to both parties. I also remember that we need to be global leaders and global citizens to a complex world with complex problems, and we are capable of providing those solutions. I have never in my life experienced a micro-adaptation project, and I'm exceptionally sure that my fellow women leaders would agree with me that we've not had a practical micro-adaptation project like this on an online program that you would think would be very theoretical. I must say that from the beginning till now, we have become very skilled, high-level leaders that you wanted to create. On moving forward after our graduation or finishing and completing this program, that we show support to each other. We have already practiced this. We have done things in teams and collaborated on different works. I recognize especially our Eagle State Entrepreneurs for the Green Environment team, where we went out of our way in the late night calls on trying to finish our assignments on time. I know all other groups and team members were also trying as much as possible to meet with their teams and finish most of the assignments. And even when we were late, we pleaded very actively that it was one thing or the other that caught us up and that we want to finish it as soon as we can and forward it to you. We also are very thankful for the patience with what some of our leaders here that have helped us be able to understand things we didn't understand. When we were running late on some of these programs, you were there to hold our hands and pull us up. I'm also grateful that we have learned to collaborate among each other, and we'll keep collaborating because of our alumni group that we are putting together, and we intend to do certain programs together after this program. I also hope and encourage that we continue to lead with the energy we have applied to the adaptation training and the strength and boldness that we need for sustainable solutions. The executive training decided or wanted to impact and show ripple effects of investing in women and lead effective climate adaptation on local and regional and national levels. Well, from the people that I have seen and have worked with, and the ladies and leaders that are here, I know that we are able to make this happen directly and indirectly, and we'll keep impacting. I don't want to bore too much, so I'll just say thank you so much to the team that put this all together, to Viola Christian, to Alina Stinks, to Aurelia Cielos, to Julia Nete, to Maximilian Hack, to Adriana Valenzuela, to all the team, to the team from NORAD, thank you very much. I'm going to say special thank you to the organizations, to the Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizens, to the Care, Climate and Resilience Academy, to the Diplomatic Academy of Vienna, to the Global Center on Adaptation, and to NORAD. Thank you all so much. And thank you so much to all our trainees who have spent time and energy from their busy schedules at work and school to be here to be impacted and have given it their best. Before I leave, I must tell you that an old Chinese proverb says that women hold up half the sky. And in our case, it is quite literal that we literally hold up half of our climate. We need to contribute our quota as women in the world for climate change to be able to meet our global goals, our 1.5 average temperatures by 2030. Congratulations again to my fellow leaders. Yes, we did it. Let us lead the course in climate adaptation and resilience building. Let us transform our continent and inspire the world. From the latest IPCC report on climate change, the climate crisis has hit Africa the hardest. And every time things hit Africa, we need leaders that will stand up to the challenge and bring solutions. Africa needs you, my dear woman leader. Africa needs you, and the world needs you. Thank you, and I look forward to meeting you in person, hopefully at the next COP27. Thank you very much. Over to you, Viola.
Big applause, Stephanie. That was amazing. What an amazing speech. I have goosebumps all over. No one could, it really, it's the nail on the head. It's just the energy that you bring across with this speech and with your remarks. It really resembles the energy of the whole group. And being with you for the last 6 months and being surrounded by this energy has really made every day brighter for me. And so I'm very thankful to you too. And I think all the organizers are thankful to you for this common experience. Good. Everybody, we have come to the end of the first part of the ceremony, and I would like to take this moment to gather and turn on all of our cameras so that we can take a family pictures while all of us are connected and are online. So let's do that. And I will ask our communications representative, Katra, to please take a screenshot while we're all here. And I will count to 3 and then, so 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Great, so she's giving me the sign, it's done, wonderful. So I'm glad we were able to do this family photo together because it really is a family by now. And I couldn't be more grateful for this experience. But we're not yet at the end of this ceremony. Now we want to come a bit closer to the training. And of course, we're also joined by audience on the live stream today. The audience outside of this room might not know what this training is all about and what it has been all about. And I would like to give a little introduction, a bit of a recap of the last 6 months that we've been here together, gathered in this training. So actually in December 2020, so it's really 2020 when this all started, GCA and the Ban Ki-moon Center got together to think about how we can follow our missions and empower women in the framework of our both missions. And we collected a group of 4 partners, 4 very strong partners: the Global Center on Adaptation, the Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizens, the CARE Climate Resilience Academy, and the Diplomatische Akademie Wien. And we all had one main objective, and that was to strengthen women leadership on climate adaptation. Since then, we have had a very competitive call for applications. And ladies, you have been the 30 young women who have been selected among 480 applications that flew in to our inboxes, and we had to decide, and that was one of the toughest decisions ever. But we couldn't be more convinced of having made the right decisions with you. We have collected an amazing group of 30 young women from Zimbabwe, from the DRC, from Egypt, from Ghana, from Nigeria, and from Kenya. So really all over the African continent. Do you remember? This was our first engagement together. This was when we all met in October 2021 for our welcome session. And this is the family photo we took then. Back then we were still strangers. Now we are a family. And since then, we had 20 weeks of very intensive training with 15 modules that focused on the core knowledge on gender-sensitive climate adaptation, but also on leadership capacity building. So we tried to combine these. And then we also had a very practical focus on your micro-adaptation projects. And you've developed micro-adaptation projects throughout this process yourself. But another huge focus of this training was also to network and to build your career in the field of climate adaptation. You have made invaluable connections with leaders in the field to foster your careers, but also to foster your innovative solutions, your micro-adaptation projects throughout this process. And I would like to turn to our common manifesto on effective women leadership, because this is a core outcome from one of our sessions that we held together back in February with amazing high-level women leaders. And I would like to hand over to our representative, Baliki Salaudin, who would like to also present this manifesto. If she's here, let me see if she's here. I hope she's here. Alina is checking. Okay, she's not here. So I would like to take on this task, unless someone from the group wants to jump in spontaneously. But the Roundtable on Effective Women Leadership was an amazing get-together of our young participants. Ali Keys is actually just entering the room. And it brought together Jemima Njuki, who is actually also here today. Thank you so much, Jemima, for being here. But also Tasmin Perfect. Baliki, so you just came in at the right moment. I want to hand over to you to present the manifesto.
Thank you so much, Viola. I don't know how I'm going to miss it. I was timing this for 5 o'clock. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Alina, for that chat. Thank you. Okay, good. Good afternoon, everyone from Nigeria. My name is Balki Salaudin, and I'm super excited about our closing ceremony. I would just like to give us a run through about what the roundtable was about. So the major idea behind the roundtable on effective women leadership was to connect other women who are leading change in climate change or in other social development space to connect with us and for us to also get inspiration from their journey, how they started, the challenges they're facing, and how they're overcoming them. And we also get to ask questions from them, give our recommendations, and what have you. We had Adriana Valenzuela during the call. She's the youth program lead for GCA. We had Jemima Njuki during the call. She's the director for African International Food Policy Research Institute. And we had Tasnim Esop. She's the executive director of Climate Action Network. And I think it's also good to note that she was also in politics. Yeah, before she was an advocate, then went to politics, then came back to Climate Action Network. So it was a nice time, and we had this call where we all had to separate into a separate room and come up with this manifesto. And before I talk about the manifesto, yes, I'll just like to note that that particular call was one of the many special calls that we had, and it has really changed our perspective as young women leading climate adaptation in Africa. And it has also connected us with these women to learn from them, and many of us are now connected with them on social media. We now follow their work, and some of the tips they shared during the call, we're now sort of introducing them into our day-to-day activity as a person and as people leading climate adaptation. And going back to the manifesto now, it was a group presentation. So each group came up with their own manifesto, and then we now have the single manifesto, which is centered around resilience, confidence, excellence, support, empathy. Resilience, we noted that it is very, very important to be emotionally intelligent as a leader and lead with empathy. We also noted that it is good to be grounded and take care of ourselves, because at the end of the day, we don't want to break down in the middle of action. It is also very important to be a good listener and lead by example. It is not enough to go on social media and say, oh, take this action, take this climate action, do this action. But then, are you really taking the action? Are you really taking on the lead? And on excellence, we noted that it is important to create safe space for others. One of the things that we talked about during the call, and one of the major emphases that all the women made emphasis on, was how it is important for us to break the bias. And aside from breaking the bias, we must always give room for other people to grow. And that is why we think it is very important to create safe space for others to grow if you have the capacity. Send the elevator back to support those coming after you. So it's not just about you being at that space. It's not just about you being inside that room alone. What happens to people that are below you? How are you trying your best to uplift them? So it is always good to create a safe space for these people and send the elevator back to them and bring them up so we can all work together. Mentor others when you can, and have able mentors who mention your name in a room full of opportunities. So it's not just about having mentors, yes, it's more of having mentors who trust you, having mentors who believe in your capacity as a person, who believe in your vision, who can mention your names even when you're not in the room. So it is very, very good to mentor others and pick mentors who believe strongly in what you're aiming to achieve. Let women be at the heart of what you do. It is very, very important that we've seen climate change issues in Africa as a case, and we've seen how girls and women are so vulnerable to these changes. So it is important that whatever climate adaptation leads or action we're going to be taking, we should ensure that young girls and women are at the heart of what we're doing. On empathy, moral compass, be confident to make your voices heard. It might be very difficult, it might be very shaky, it might be a little bit dicey, and you can wake up every morning and say, why am I even doing this? But make sure that your voice is heard. Speak up when you have to. Say yes to opportunities that help you grow. We're not saying that you should jump on every opportunities that you see, but it's important that you analyze all of this opportunity and say yes to them if you think they would benefit you or your initiative. Knowing and developing your area of expertise will help increase your confidence. I like to use myself as an example. Climate change for many of us on this call, for many of the training, is not what many of us envisioned when we're younger than this. But now we have found ourselves leading this action in Africa. And it is only important for us to take on trainings such as the Young Women on Climate Adaptation online executive training to help us upskill ourselves. So it is very important to keep yourself around opportunities that will help you upskill, that will help you grow knowledge, in the spaces that you care about, especially around climate change. And lastly, excel at what you do. Excel at what you do. It might take a while. It might take longer than expected. You might wake up or go to bed every night thinking that I've not achieved anything. But trust me, the decision you're making daily to want to go out there and help others and support others and learn and grow is part of the steps you're taking to excellence. So excel at what you're doing, be intentional about it, prove yourself and focus on your work. It is not just enough for us to say, oh, Barkis is a climate activist. Can I even prove it? So you need to be able to prove yourself and focus on the work that you're doing. Let people go out there and be able to say that, oh yeah, Barkis is, oh yeah, she's into climate change. I think she can do this. Oh, she's into this. Oh, I think Stephanie can do this. Oh, I think, yeah, Viola coordinated the online. Let people know what you're doing so that they can table your matter for good. Be strategic and utilize different tools in different situations. Now we are exposed to a lot of the trainers, a lot of the facilitators. Our network is broader. We have connected with each other. I can now reach out to Miriam. I can reach out to Lauren. I can reach out to Josephine and say, oh yeah, guys, I'm working on this project. Let's do it together. Utilize the opportunity that you have and build network. Different tools are out there that you can tap from the network that you build. So be strategic about it. Be well connected and network. I just explained that. So resilience, confidence, excellence, empathy, compass, and support. Those are our manifesto from the 2021-2022 Ban Ki-moon Center for Global Citizen online executive training on young women and climate adaptation. I want to especially thank BKMC, as I fondly call them, and every other partner, GCA, CARE, for taking our time to invest in our knowledge, invest in our growth as young women in Africa, and supporting us to lead on the change of climate adaptation in our communities. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity you've given us to connect with other people. This manifesto I've already sent it out to printer. I'm going to paste it in the wall of my house so that I can always read it, because we all came up with it together, and it's only good for me to read it every day as an affirmation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Balikis. Perfect explanation of it all. And this is really, you grasp the sense of this whole manifesto. It is something that you should just be reminded of every day, that this is what you consider effective women leadership to be. This is something that you've worked on together. And I think we can all learn from this. It's not just yours, it's really for everybody. So really always keep it close to your heart. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you young leaders practicing what you've preached here. And I couldn't be more confident that you will do so. Wonderful. So after these 6 months, we came up with 30 micro-adaptation projects, and not we, but you. So 30 micro-adaptation projects that foster adaptation in your own capacities, in your communities, in the field of agriculture, technology, focusing on nature-based solutions, focusing on community solutions, education. So many different topics were addressed, and it's been so inspiring to read all of your ideas in your proposals that you came up with. But also you had to convey and submit video pitches at the end of this training. Video pitches where you present your micro-adaptation project. And we want to take this moment to also highlight a few of these micro-adaptation project pitches, because for the audience, they might not know what a micro-adaptation project would be. So we want to make them familiar and maybe also have everybody learn what they can do in the field of adaptation, inspire others. And we want to do that by highlighting, first and foremost, Ormiel Maganga from the DRC. Congrats, Ormiel. So Ormiel has worked on a project that is focusing on raising awareness and building adaptive capacity of young women in the Muganga refugee camp in the DRC. And I would like to hand over to her pitch so that we all understand what she is planning on doing.
Kwashiorkor and lack of a voice have continued to be the most pressing issues in DRC conflict zones, especially in refugee camps.
My name is Ormiel Magana, one of the 30 women selected for the program Young Women Leadership on Climate Adaptation. My micro-adaptation project is about raising awareness and build adaptive capacity of young women in conflict zones through an educational program targeting 50 young women under 35 living in refugee camps.
As the armed conflict continues to grow in DRC, more and more we are witnessing the displacement of young farmer women and their children, so does the increase of the density of population in the refugee camps. This translates a high burden of food insecurity as it is in Mugunga camp in Goma. According to the combined statistics of DRC Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Public Health, Mugunga camp is characterized by a high number of malnourished children, 88%. Another field survey by Congo Green found that 95% of the women are rural farmers and do not have adequate knowledge of the climatic conditions of the new environment in which they have taken refuge in order to advocate for a practical education on urban agriculture to survive. The question then is, what can we do? This project aims at building the capacity of women in advocacy to empower them with the necessary within Changemaker Club to communicate the problems that affect them the most and to embrace urban agriculture, especially vertical farming, in the context of adapting to this environmental transition, rural to urban area where climate is changing differently. So far, the project hopes to achieve 2 milestones. 1. Build a strong advocacy team and develop an illustrative step-by-step guideline on how to produce an advocacy document and how to implement a family gardening to the empty space within the camp. 2. It will also conduct workshops that will reach 50 farmer women directly, training them on effective advocacy strategies and implementation of family gardening.
This project will be able to contribute to 2 or more SDGs, including reducing hunger, inequalities, sustainable communities, and cities. Thank you for listening.
Wonderful, wonderful pitch, Ormiel. Congrats on this achievement. I would like to now turn over to Patience Sibanda from Zimbabwe, who proposed a micro-adaptation project on food security and resilience building through climate-smart gardening. And yeah, with no further ado, let's give it up for Patience.
My name is Patience Sibanda, and I'm going to tell you a story. Meet Mary Ncube, a 36-year-old woman, a mother of 4 children. Mary and her children, they only survive on 2 meals a day. Mary survives on doing menial jobs, such as cultivating people's fields, harvesting people's crops, and also fetching water for people. However, because of the rampant drought, the mid-season dry spells, and all other climatic conditions that affect Umzingwane district, Mary's job or livelihood is affected. Come to think of it, if Mary was a man, she was going to actually participate in illegal mining, which is rampant in Umzingwane district. But because of the need to take care of her children and also of the dangers associated with illegal mining, she cannot participate in it. So how does Mary survive? How does Mary continue to feed her children? So with all these challenges that Mary faces, she cannot fend for her family. So what is the solution for a woman like Mary? Let me take it a step further. If I'm to go to the busiest shopping center in Umzingwane district, pick 10 stones and randomly throw them to people in that business center, the chances of hitting 10 Marys are very high. That shows you how women in Umzingwane district are very vulnerable. But let me talk about this Umzingwane district. Umzingwane district is located in the Matabeleland South province of Zimbabwe. And the 2021 Zimbabwe Vulnerability Assessment concluded that Umzingwane district is one of the driest areas in the country. What then can be the solution for an area like Umzingwane? What can be the solution for the Marys that reside in Umzingwane district? A district that is prone to drought, mid-season dry spells, erratic rainfall, crop and livestock infestations. This is where we say the climate-smart nutrition gardens are the best solution for Umzingwane district. How will these benefit Mary? 1, they will improve food security. Secondly, it will improve food diversity. Thirdly, it will improve the nutritional status and also increase household income. What does this mean? It means that even if there is erratic rainfall, even if it means there are droughts, Mary can still sustain herself and her family.
Amazing job, Patience. Also so professional, and I'm so impressed with all of your skills and ability to also convey the information about what you want to do in such meaningful ways. And now I would like to turn over to Loreen Awor from Kenya. And she's a professional on agroecology and calls it the route to food. And her micro-adaptation project is exactly focusing on that. So I would like to hand over to Loreen's pitch.
With a population of approximately 1.3 million people, high rates of chronic food insecurity in Homa Bay County, a finite and reducing supply of resources, and the livelihoods of thousands who work along the agricultural value chain at stake, the challenge at hand is unprecedented. Are the food systems in Homa Bay up to the task? Making our food systems more sustainable need innovative tools and approaches. To be economically sustainable, these innovations must provide incomes and create jobs. To be environmentally sustainable, they must help us safeguard water, soil, and air quality while minimizing greenhouse gas emissions and food loss and waste. To be socially sustainable, they must be inclusive and reduce levels of hunger and malnutrition. To be inclusive, we must acknowledge that the unprecedented challenges affect women and men differently. Did you know that the face of farming in Homa Bay County is female? Imagine that 70% of all the production in this county is done by women, yet women still bear the most burden of poverty. This burden has been made worse over the recent years due to the effects of climate change and now the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is between peril and promise, if you ask me. The peril is in if we do not act fast. The promise is with agroecology. What is agroecology? Agroecology is a nature-based solution that increases yields while reducing environmental impacts. A basic example is agroforestry. Why agroecology, you might ask? Because agroecology places a strong focus on the rights of women. What is my action plan? So for the next 6 months, I shall organize a farmer field school to build the capacity of world women agroecology champions. The Farmer Field School shall include intensive but simplified modules on agroecology approaches. Now imagine reading about agroecology in your native language. This is how simplified it shall be. This shall not only be a farmer field school, but a safe space for women to share their experiences and learn from each other. After all, women are the custodians of traditional indigenous agricultural knowledge. They are actually the farmers. After the 6 months, these women agroecology champions will graduate with a package of 3 tree seedlings, a fruit, a fodder, and an indigenous species to start off their farm forestry journey. My name is Lorena Kinyawur, and I call on you to join me in championing for sustainable agri-food systems in Homa Bay County. This project is my local action towards supporting the government of Kenya's food and nutrition imperatives as envisaged in the agricultural sector, transformation and growth strategy, the Big Four agenda, and the Kenya Vision 2030, and ultimately contribute to the achievement of the Global Socio-Economic Development Compact, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
Also, a very powerful pitch there from Lorene. Great, so we would like to introduce you to another microadaptation project, namely from Giata Ekele from Nigeria. She has an innovative project called Her Land Project, and I would like to hand over to her final pitch to demonstrate to our audience what microadaptation projects are all about.
Imagine if the millions of women who live a life of hunger had their own land, their own home, their own vegetable plots. Imagine their children well fed and attending school. Imagine. It is sad to know that women's rights to farmland is a major challenge hindering climate adaptation and food security in eastern Nigeria. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, only 4% of farmlands are accessible to women, with reports that this minute figure are small plots, borrowed with high interest rates and low quality. The World Bank calls this dilemma a widespread discrimination of rural women land rights in eastern Nigeria. Now, how do we address this challenge? Leads us to my micro project titled Her Land Project. This micro project aims to merge digital campaign, rural sensitization, and courtesy visits that will increase women farmers' access to agricultural land and also influence policies around women's rights in eastern Nigeria. It will be launched by June this year with several IEC materials design and the development of the project website. Also, a courtesy visit to the Chief Judge, Honorable Justice Nwankwo of Ebonyi State, Nigeria. Who are our target audience? First, the women whose land rights are being denied. Second, the law practitioners who will commit to defend women land rights. What are the outcomes of this micro project? 1. To inspire law practitioners to commit to defend women land rights. 2. To keep and publish documentaries of the challenges of women land rights in Nigeria. This will be implemented under the project website. 3. To connect lawyers to vulnerable women, especially widows who lost their farmlands after the demise of their husbands. 4. To sensitize the public on women land rights. This will be done through the one-year digital advocacy campaign. Next, how would this project impact the SDGs? This project will impact food security, SDG 2, and also increase gender equality, SDG 5. It will also have direct impact to SDG 3, 8, 13, 15, 16, and 17. Now, why don't you join us? You could support with funds or skills as a graphic designer, digital influencer, or you could support with advice, referrals, and so on. Why don't you join me in this fight to increase women's access to agricultural land and to defend their land rights, especially after the demise of their husbands?
Amazing pitches, ladies. And Giata, well done. Congratulations to all of you. But of course, we had 30 amazing pitches, and unfortunately, we don't have the time to go through all of them. But we will put them on our YouTube channel so that all others who are keenly interested in learning more about what you do can access that information. And now I would like to welcome to the panel, Loreen, Giata, if you're here. Giata, I see you're here, but the connection might not be good. But also Ormiel and Patience, so that we have a little conversation about you and so that the audience can get to know you a bit better. So Patience, I can see you right there, perfect. Glad to be joined by you, wonderful. Waiting for Giata and, or potentially Giata. Loreen is here. Nice to see you, Loreen. Fantastic. So let's begin, because I want the audience should also get to know you better and to know a bit more about you. So I would like to start with you, Loreen. Maybe you could introduce yourself to the audience and also maybe tell us a bit about what gives you the motivation to be a change maker.
Thank you so much, Viola. Good evening, good morning. I'm not sure, but it's very much evening in Kenya. So my name is Lorena Kinyawur, and I would say that first I would really appreciate the dedication of all the women leaders. Yeah, I think it takes a lot of dedication to actually come and go through all the modules that we went through. So I would say that what motivates me is putting women mostly at the heart of everything, but they're not just women, as well youths at the heart of everything that we do. Because one, women are the most vulnerable. Women are the most challenged in terms of voices. Our voices are never heard out there. Our voices are always last to be heard. I will give a very basic example. I'm in the fieldwork right now. I'm working on a very small project, and you would actually realize that even when we are sitting down and we are discussing, women have to sort of wait for the men to talk before they can talk. When everyone is seated and more people have joined, it's the women that have to leave their seats so that the visitors have space. So for me, it's how do we put women at the center? And that is what motivates me every day. Thank you.
Amazing, very powerful. Maybe I can hand over to Ormiel. What is it that makes you motivated to be a change maker? And please also introduce yourself and what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Viola. So my name is Ormiel Magangam from Democratic Republic of Congo, and I'm the CEO of a local NGO, Congo Green. And I think the thing that motivates me to be change maker is this sense, this spirit inside of me, the spirit of humanism. And I think that reaching the life of people affected by climate change, I think climate adaptation is the right road to take to reach those life of people. So yeah, every day I wake up, then I say, oh, right, I want to change the life of someone. What can I do? So I take a look of problems that affect them the most, and I found that climate change really affected. So I take this step and find solutions for them. Thank you.
Very clear and very inspiring. How about you, Patience? What is the motivating factor for you? Maybe you can also introduce yourself. Tell us a bit more about you.
Okay, thank you very much, Viola. My name is Patience Spanda. I'm currently a student and I'm doing a research on climate smart agriculture and resiliency building for smallholder farmers. So I would say that the main thing that motivates me, firstly, I would want to highlight the work, the sacrifice, the enthusiasm, the energy that young people across the globe actually have when it comes to contributing or rather driving climate action. So you would notice that as young women, we are not waiting to be told what to do, right? We're already seeing the challenges that climate change has on young people, on women and children, and we're doing whatever we can with whatever we have to actually drive climate action. And also another thing that I would want to actually highlight is an issue of as a researcher, each time I open a climate change document or a climate change paper, it talks about how women are vulnerable to climate change, and that is one thing that actually challenges me to say, there's definitely a gap there. There's definitely something that needs to be done. I don't want my children and grandchildren, to read papers that are to be published 10 years to come and also read the same thing. I want to actually be part of the change to say that when my children actually open climate change documents, they should know that the issues of women being vulnerable to climate change is the thing of the past. They're supposed to actually see that they should be reading papers that will talk about how women are actually adapting to climate change, how women are actually able to, or rather how women's capacities to adapt have actually changed.
Yeah, very straight to the point right there. The power of young people, and their voices are loud. We just need to listen. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your words with us. I have so many questions for you, but due to time, we're gonna move on to the next part of the session, which focuses on all of your 30 micro-adaptation projects. Because due to time, we can't really show your pitches, all of them, but we have a little something to give you along the way. Because all of your 30 micro-adaptation projects deserve a special recognition. And we have special illustrations prepared by our designer, Ezra Koeman, who's also joining us today. And we have this ceremonial act that we always do at the end of our closing ceremonies, where we go through all of your micro-adaptation projects and deliver these illustrations to you. And I would like to hand over to this ceremonial act. Well done, ladies. Congratulations. congratulations. Truly amazing projects, amazing illustrations. I hope we were able to make you happy and give something back to you for your amazing work. Really, it's been such an incredible learning journey with you. And yeah, I already saw the chat. I love it, how active it is. And Ezra, all of the thanks go to you. So Ezra, maybe you can also introduce yourself a little bit and yeah, just maybe tell us what was challenging about this design project, what you learned throughout the process of designing these illustrations, because really you're extremely talented and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Viola. Hello all again. First of all, I want to say that I'm so happy to be here with you. Thank you so much for the invitation. If you let me, I introduce myself briefly. My name is Esther Köyman. I'm living in Vienna for 4 years. I'm in Turkish originally. I came from Istanbul in Turkey. I'm self-employed graphic designer and also illustrator. On the other hand, I'm working for United Nations as a consultant. As a requirement of my job, I design in many different fields. As you guess, some of the tasks are more enjoyable and satisfying. And I can say that this project was very, very, very important and enjoyable for me. I deeply impressed. I was really happy while I was drawing, but honestly, sometimes it's a little bit hard for me because I didn't have so much idea about climate adaptation, and actually I didn't know anything about water management, farm, smart agriculture, etc. While I was searching on them, I saw a new world. It was amazing, but my main inspiration was the motivation of the young women to find solution to problems. It's really important. It's really important. So their works and hope provided a big motivation to me. So I would like to congratulate all the young leaders, ladies separately. I believe that they will make the world a better place. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ezra. Wonderful. Yes, I completely agree with you on that. They will make our world a better place. And yeah, we have come to the end of our ceremony, but I want to give the opportunity to anyone who would like to also take the floor and say some last remarks before we end this ceremony, to yeah, maybe congratulate the ladies, to yeah, say maybe their to explain their experience working with our young leaders, but maybe also the young leaders want to openly speak about their experience. We have a few more minutes, so I'm opening the floor to anyone who's willing to share a few words. It would be wonderful to hear from you. Kate, wonderful. Our communications trainer, who is basically responsible for all these amazing pitches.
Oh gosh, not at all, Viola. Let me stop you right there if I may, because as a trainer, I'm very fortunate to work with lots of different groups. And what struck me so much about this group was your hunger. My goodness, your desire to really refine and modify your ideas. And I think the pitches that we saw, and Viola knows I've seen others too, and they were just extraordinary. So I really congratulate each and every one of you for taking the time to really reflect, to really refine, because that is how we've seen these extraordinary pitches. And it was truly, from my point of view, a pleasure, a real pleasure. As I say, I have the opportunity to work with many groups, and truly each and every one of you will stay in my mind, and I will follow with great interest how your projects develop. So thank you for the opportunity to work with you.
Wonderful. I mean, it's also very beautiful how trainings always give something back to the trainer. So it's nice that it's an exchange, really. So we have a few more minutes. Anyone who would like to say a few words, you're welcome to do so, but I'm not pressuring anyone. If that's not the case, I will. Oh, Rachel, go ahead.
Hey Viola, hi everyone. Well, I'm just gonna use my picture. I'm not gonna use the video because I'm in the dark right now. But I would like to say congratulations to all the powerful women in the group. And you know, like we said, when we sent through our first introductory videos, that we did it. And you know, I think we are even so much better than what we were before, and our different visions are a lot more clearer. We've got a clearer strategy on how to attack things. And it was an intense 6 months. I mean, when I started, I thought, oh, wow, 6 months, it's going to be a breeze. But it was very intense. And sometimes you'd be out in the bush with no network and there's a session and you're trying to, I don't know, find where there's network. But it was really empowering and encouraging. And I would also like to take this opportunity not only to thank the participants that were very supportive. I think most of you had me budging into your inboxes, seeking advice, and they were very helpful. It was really great collaborating with you. And then also the Ban Ki-moon team, I don't know how you guys managed to come up with these modules, but you know, it's so different from the academic type of setting. And it's something that, you know, it's not just going to be, it's not going to end here. It's something that you're actually going to implement in fulfilling your vision, your mission, your goal, and everything. And also I would like to probably extend my special thanks to Viola and Alina and Julia. And, you know, I mean, you guys were extremely patient, especially in the tough times and all of that. And yeah, I'm just really grateful for this opportunity. I do not know where I would have gotten so much skill from in such a short space of time. But thank you so much. I don't know, words fail me.
Rachel.
I can ramble on and on, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel, for your kind words. That really means a lot to us. Rahma, maybe a short intervention from you, if that's possible.
Hello, everyone. I just want to thank all of you, all the Ban Ki-moon team, and all of the lovely ladies. I really feel all that we are really a family. The ladies were very supportive and helpful during these months, and always gave a hand when we need help in everything, and they helped me a lot in my journalistic stories. So I want to thank you and to express my love and grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rahma. Much appreciated. We're coming to an end, so I'm sorry we cannot take any more from you, but I want to close this session with also saying thank you. Thank you to my team, to Alina, our amazing project support. Really, she's sitting right next to me, but so I have to kind of turn. But Alina's support has been extremely essential throughout this whole project, and she was so new to the team and had to adjust so quickly, and she's done an extraordinary job. I also want to thank our amazing comms team. They were always responsible for the back end and communicating about this project, because the word has to go out and get out to the world that more trainings like these are necessary. I also want to thank our amazing partners, the organizing team, Aurélie, Julia and Max, Aurélie from CARE, Max and Julia from the Diplomatic Academy wouldn't have been possible without you. So big thanks to the whole team for making this happen. Big thanks to the amazing 30 young leaders who keep on inspiring all of our teams. You've done an extraordinary job in 6 months. It's been so intense and you've managed so well. Things, life happens at the same time and you still were so dedicated, and it really just blows my mind how you do it. It shows me that you have the capacity to move this world. It really does show that. So thank you so much for your energy, your wisdom, and your diligence. And congratulations again. And with that, I would like to close the session, and let's give it up with a heart, if that's possible. And we'll have another picture for our social media because Katra is right there with us.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Close the chat. There we go. Everyone here? Yes. Okay.
And never sit together, right?
One last challenge.
Okay.
Perfect. Got it. Wonderful, ladies. Congratulations again. Well done. Yeah, I'm looking forward to staying in touch. Goodbye.
Bye, ladies. The last bye.
So sad to
Bye.
say bye. Bye, everyone.
It's not a
Bye,
last
Paula.
goodbye. We will see each other again.
Alina.
Keep in touch.
See you again.